tuning in to the local news at 5. Today's weather report. After a long week of snowstorms in the south, we have a little bit of sun poking out. But don't get too riled up because we got clouds and rain in the forecast for this week. So be sure to pack your umbrellas, your rain boots, and your jackets and prepare for a wild one.
Brenda, what you doing, boy?
Been out here on the search for the American dream. The only thing I found is that it's not what it seems. They put it in my head that it was ours to achieve. But now it's in my soul that theory's hard to believe. It's hard to stay afloat. It's been that way since the boat. Yearning for financial freedom, but unsure what way to go. Other options let us know. Our people died to let us vote. The youngins out here kicking doors and selling dope. Now that's your rope. Go ahead and hang us, but never can you blame us. Cause when you come from nothing, you hunger for rich and famous. Always gonna be one of me with inspirational help. I wanna introduce these hoods to generational wealth. Yeah. Break out. See, now it's time to break out. Now it's time to break out. Now it's time to.
Poison Sixth in the South. I am your host, Shane Smith, or Shane O, or that guy that happens to be the host of Organic Poison Podcast. Today, I'm here with a guest who is returning. He was, I believe, on my third episode. G-Nerro, welcome back, brother.
Yeah. What's up? How's it going?
Yeah, this is a thing I'm wanting to try to be able to use some of this footage from this Zoom presentation that we have here and bring it over to the YouTube. I have yet to put an episode on YouTube, so this will probably be one of the first ones. So
Get it.
yeah, I don't know that I'll send it the same way that it is like how we see it. Cause Zoom, you can do a couple of different options, but I might take it and put it in another program and put some borders around it and make it kind of a thing. But either way.
Yeah, put some sparkle on it.
Yes. Or just basically put some branding on it so it doesn't just look like two guys talking on a camera. But in the same breath, I mean, if they listen to the intro, then they know it's us.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, man, what you been up to lately?
Man, not much, man. Just grinding it out, trying to come up with some different stuff. Lately, been focusing on trying to get an album out for the fall. Yeah, that's it. In the planning stages, I already got all the recording and stuff done. So.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Basically, it's almost like you got the easy part out of the way, but it's also exciting when you get to the point of just being able to release something and how you want to release it.
It's fun. I don't think it's as fun as the recording. I like the creative part of the recording.
Right.
The rest of it kind of irks you sometimes, but it's also fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think part of me is probably just a little bit self-centered. So it's like one of those kind of things, like it's the one time that you get to be like have an excuse to just put on for yourself really hardcore. It's like when you're getting ready to release some music, it's like, hey, look, I'm not trying to be selfish, but I've got to do this for the project,
Look at my shit. Like, check this shit out.
Yeah, exactly. I've got to pretend that I'm like the king of some shit for a little while. It's like only because the homies won't do it for me. It's like you don't want to just like beg your friends to like do your shit for you. But in the same breath, it's like, oh man, I really wish you guys would just, because when they see you, they're like, fuck yeah, man, I listened to that song or something like that. And it's like, oh my God, well, I greatly appreciate you listening to it several times, but you should have shared it or you should have told somebody.
Because you're going to listen to it every time just because, it's the homie, but,
Yeah, exactly. It's like they just don't think about that though, which can you blame them? I kind of wish I didn't,
Yeah, I understand that completely. Because I don't like outside of music, I don't like share music with other people, like for real. I barely even listen to new music to be sharing.
Yeah, I feel you. Like it's rare, and that kind of sucks too, because it's like a part of me like wishes I could be like, oh man, I really want to support an artist. It's like it's so hard to find like because everybody is an art, like everybody does something. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, damn, it kind of like loses its authenticity if I just share everybody that I know that does something.
Right. That's true too.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like I guess in the back of my head you think that maybe there's somebody that would be salty that you didn't share their stuff, and it's like then I start feeling conceited. Like, what does it matter? It's like, who gives a shit if I'm the one sharing your stuff? It's like, it's all in Facebook's hands, really, if you think about it.
True. Very true. There could be nobody like that you and like friends are following with, but it could be one random person just see you off a hashtag and just start posting you.
Yeah.
And now you got some traction.
I'm thinking I want to, and I don't know if I'm going to go through with this, but I'm going to get some money together and I'm going to do I'm going to actually spend some money on like ads and stuff, either for music or for the podcast, just because I want to try it out. But I think I'm going to try and run ads in different countries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Because it's like, you really don't have to feel too bad about not getting out and performing, because it's like, I mean, what do you want me to do? You know, like, but it's like in the same breath, what if you found like a town in a different country and you just focused like the same way if you just started your Instagram today? You would follow everybody in the area. You know what I'm saying? You'd follow everybody you know. It's like, well, what if you find a way to do that in like a small town, like 20 miles from Dublin?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just added all these people and you're like, you start a community. I mean, you'd have to have a lot of time on your hands because you also have your own life. But
well, not really. How the ads work, they do a good job at, marketing and advertising to whatever, promo you want to do to those places. But at the same time, the way you talking, like Adam and friends, talk to them and stuff.
That would be even more in depth, I guess.
Yeah. But I think that'd be cool. I ain't never think about that. It'd be cool though to, you pretty much, it'd be like being there without even being there,
Exactly. And see, the thing I'm thinking specifically with the ads, not necessarily all the way down the rabbit hole, but like, what if you like pretty much just found a way to run enough ads to get it to where it was like, or maybe if you knew one person in the town, almost like a ground person that, I don't know, like if you could get
one street team.
An entire high school in a completely different country getting into your music. I mean, if you're a foreigner to them, you know what I'm saying? You're automatically going to blow up, especially if you became a trending topic. So think about if you got that big in some small town and that just spread out like that.
Right. It spread out from that town. It happens like that.
And they're different about music overseas, like in Russia and stuff, dude. Like, I mean, I guess they are, I say they're different. They're probably just like us, but like they love music. Like, I mean, I guess they're not as distracted by a bunch of other things going on.
I've been running ads. I do ads sometimes on like Instagram, and I recently did one on Google. Over the time, me doing that and kind of like playing with it and reading stuff, I seen what Germany is like the big hip hop listening country. It's crazy as hell. Like they listen to our stuff like it's popping. When I don't know how you're knowing what I'm saying, but
Well, I think it's almost like mandatory in a lot of other places in the world to learn English. So, I mean, they have to learn English in school, kind of like how we're supposed to learn Spanish or French, or something like that. I say I didn't go to school, but I know most of my friends had to take a Spanish class. So it's like, it kind of makes sense where it's like, but English is like everywhere else in the world, it seems like. I bet they don't make you learn English in Russia.
That could be the one place they not like.
They're like, we're good.
I'm going to learn that.
Yeah, it's like they'll give you like some other like random language to learn.
They'll learn like Mandarin, learn like Chinese, and they like right close to China or something. That probably makes sense.
Or they actually, the way that their leadership is, they probably would just come up with a second Russian language. It's just like, we're just going to teach you another language that nobody else
come up with some completely futuristic language. Don't even look like normal, letters and that.
That'd be pretty awesome if you did that. If you knew your country was about to get invaded, like we know in 10 years our country's going to get invaded, so we have to get all the citizens inundated with a new language so they can talk.
Yeah,
which I mean,
hey, that's smart. It couldn't happen here. It could not happen.
No, absolutely. Well, we wouldn't believe that nobody was coming until they came. We'd be like, that never happened. We all got going.
In the midst of getting shot up.
Yeah, no shit.
Figure it out.
We'd be sitting there eating, like grilling or something, like, oh, damn, they're really here. This is no good.
Yeah, they were like, that shit was real, what they were talking about 10 years ago.
I'm just totally halfway kidding. But it's like, if, just say some people just invaded this bitch. Everybody who was like, yeah, well, we got our own guns. You know, I mean, that's a big thing. That's the reason, like, everybody's armed in the country. So it's like, but it's like like nobody even has time to grab their guns. Their houses are just, you're throwing a strap to the back of a truck. You don't know where you're going. They're busting you out of there.
Everybody who invaded us just got free guns and stuff. We couldn't even use them, so we was doing our regular stuff.
You just see neighborhoods where this is happening, like 2 or 3 people out of like 40 houses actually try to shoot at them. And they're like trained, like military people. So they just disarm you and just, I don't know. That would just be some crazy, really foul shit. It's like we've just put our entire foundation on hoping that would never happen.
That's what one of our first first couple amendments was bear arms. So
yeah, it's the second.
Like our main rule, and we didn't even abide by it. We just
it's like, damn, all that fussing and fighting we did over these fucking guns.
Done for.
It's like that would be crazy. But I mean, we're just gonna have to hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
if I'm being honest.
If it does. And we know in advance, like 10 days in advance. Or something.
If we actually listen when they say, in 10 years.
Yeah. If we listen, that'll be the crazy thing.
And that was going to be my alternative was, I mean, you could teach people the language, or you could just teach people how to defend themselves. I was about to say, because maybe learning a new language would be more or less like, we know we're fucked. It's like we know we're all going to become prisoners, and that's how we're going to build. That's how we're going to build our underground system. It's like, but if you train them to fight, it's like, well, at least they stood on their feet.
Yeah, at least they went out with a bang, not just went out speaking some random shit in the air.
Yeah, no shit. In handcuffs, working on the Russian chain gang, and you're having to halakamasa. And your boy forgot. He forgot the whole language. He wasn't paying attention. So you don't know what
he was thinking like us, like the Americans. He was like, fuck it, that shit ain't gonna happen. Now he out there speaking Russian looking crazy.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry. That's really funny.
This was not meant to be like a diss towards Russia or not, because
no. I mean, hey,
we just saying any country. That could definitely happen still in any country.
I'm sure there was, I mean, it could definitely happen to anyone. I'm sure there's been scenarios that's played out, especially with smaller countries. We're talking about the top dogs here, but I mean, there's plenty of countries I'm sure that kind of shit's happened to. And that hasn't even had anything to do with us. Like, it's like an interesting thing that I heard the other day on a show that I was listening to. They were talking about, we get so worked up about the stuff that's going on in China, which there is some pretty bad stuff going on in China. That's not exclusively China, like not the people of China, but the government or whatever. And she proceeded to say, she's like, and that is horrible. She's like, but do you realize like that there's shit like that happening all over the world. It's like, we just don't care. I mean, it's like, we don't think about it. I mean, and it's kind of shitty when you think about that, but it's
it's right though.
It's like, there's stuff that happens in some of these countries that don't ever make it on any kind of radar. Like journalism isn't there. Like there's not anything covering it. And it's like, you couldn't cover it all. It's like, and honestly, it would just desensitize people even more if you did try to invest your money and time into that.
Right. Because they hear too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we suffer from that shit here in America with like way simpler things than some of the shit that people deal with over there. It's like, or in other places in the world. But it's just funny. That's a more serious thing of looking at how like, it really could be any country. Like I'm not trying to, this is not America has its faults, but I'm grateful that we are not in some other places in the world.
That's true.
Like,
damn true.
At least we have the opportunity to try to work out our differences. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we got a court of law and all that. Like if you need, or you could just work it out before you even get to that point.
Yeah. I was about to say, and I'm just saying like, even as like, people, it's like, you know, it's like we could all just be like miserable like all the time. But, you know, hey, whatever. Yeah. I'm glad that I don't, I'm glad I don't live in a third world country. If for no other reason, I wouldn't be able to have good internet at my house.
Yeah, we're not glitching at all.
Yes.
I think that really wouldn't have happened here like 10 years ago. So
yeah.
It would happen in another place.
This spot where I'm at, I live out in Purvis, and I don't know how I managed to get this, but it's like connected to Comcast, so it's not satellite. What I had up until about a week and a half ago was satellite internet. So the only good or only decent internet that I had was my hotspot for my phone. I'm kind of sharing this story because throughout the past year on the podcast, I've griped and complained about how shitty my internet was. And now I'm grateful to have good internet. Yeah. And then we found out that we could get Xfinity out here through Comcast. And so they sent somebody out here and we paid and got whatever. And
they had to hook it up first. They had to actually pull some wires, pull some string.
Yes. And those like 2 days were like straight anxiety. I'm just like, man, maybe they'll come a day early. You know, just because our other internet shut off. So we didn't, and my hotspot was done within like 8 hours of my kid watching TV. So not him watching 8 hours straight, but us putting on TV and just letting it run the background stuff. So
it don't take long.
Well, my wife absolutely loves Harry Potter. So, and we have the Harry Potter on Blu-ray, and it's like we have all those movies. That was here. Did you hear the cops?
Oh, that was I thought it was my TV. So I was trying to figure out what it was. I thought it was outside. It was on your end.
You're like, hey man, I gotta go. I should have said that to you. I should have just, oh shit, close the laptop down.
I've been like, what the fuck? What happened? I'll be like trying to DM you or something, text you like, man, what fucking happened, bro? They get you for what?
Dude, that would be crazy. Yeah. That would have been really funny if I was that clever. But then again, it would have been hard for me to open it back up and you're not on here. And you're like, well, what the fuck, dude? Dude, if we would have like managed to have been like an hour and 15 minutes in, and that's how I ended the podcast, that would have been hilarious.
Hey, that would have been something to keep. Like that'd be, and then you start stopping all your podcasts like that. That'd be your signature. The cops to come in.
Yeah, but like after about 15 episodes of keeping that going, I have somebody come kick in my door. I'm like, oh fuck, you just hear him beating me up.
And they cut the camera off. Be like, fuck that, this shit over with.
Oh my God, if I got somebody who had never seen it, like that didn't know, a guest in your shoes that was completely unaware of what was going on. They'd be like, holy shit.
There's some TV shit there.
That would be really funny.
That's something to think of for one episode.
Yeah, that would be, oh man, I'm going to start pranking people. That'd be great. That would be really clever.
That would. I'm watching fucking ridiculousness. That's what's playing up here. That make me think of that. Like, it's a bunch of funny, crazy, random shit.
Yeah.
Don't
they have oh, I'm sorry.
No, what you finna say?
I was gonna say, don't they have a new show that's like a spinoff of Ridiculousness?
They got a bunch of them on the scene. It got like high ridiculousness and hollow dick, like all for different shows. One for like smoking, one for like Halloween, one for like throwing up like gross ridiculousness or some crazy shit. I don't know. It like the only thing. That's what I was finna say. The only thing on MTV that's pop.
Yeah, so shit.
They gonna flip it however much they can.
I mean, dude, if you really think about it, that's been playing pretty much nonstop on MTV for like a decade.
I'm saying. I mean, that and like Teen Mom. That's the only thing I think that's keeping MTV afloat.
And Teen Mom was something they had to bring back. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. They were like, shit, what really worked for us back in the day? Bring that shit right on back then.
Dude, it kind of makes me wonder, like, why? It's like, where's the creative? You know, they kind of have been doing that with movies too lately. Like, where's the creativity, like, for something new? But it's like maybe we're kind of like conditioned, right? Like, I mean, when it comes to entertainment, so it's like we were conditioned for forever when when the like studios were coming out with new stuff. It's like, so why is it now that y'all? It's got to be something to do with money. You know what I'm saying? But it's like. Because it's like always, it's like, oh, Bill and Ted 7 is coming out. Like, I bet you they're about to come out with a new Wayne's World movie. Like, they had that commercial, and apparently they're doing a new Ace Ventura movie.
What?
They're doing National Treasure 3, and it's like all these movies. It's like, this is tight and all, but it's like oh, you guys are investing all this money, and it's all just like redoing something of the past.
I think it's the same thing, like entertainment. When I think about like record labels do the same shit. Like they'll sign an artist, even if the artist is real creative, they tell like, stick to this little, you made it off this song, so let's stick to the same script right here. Yeah. And I feel like that's what the movie is doing. Like, well, this works. So I remember when Get Out came out, everybody was like, it's a dope movie. Then afterwards, I started seeing a bunch of movies just like Get Out. Yeah. Because they seen it work. So it's like, let's keep tapping that. But it's all like, that shit get repetitive. I mean, it's good stuff, but.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. But it's like each time you remake it, it's like taking a clone of a clone. It's like, if you get it, like, you've got the first initial specimen, if you will. And then you take that and you clone it, and then that grows into its own specimen, but it's a clone. It's like, and you clone it. Yeah. It's almost like it waters down the message too.
Yeah, that's very true. I've been hearing a lot. I hadn't seen it yet. A lot of people talk about the Coming. Have you seen the Coming to America movie?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
I've been hearing a lot of people saying, well, mixed reviews. Some people saying they like it, and then some people saying it just ain't the same.
When it first came out, I didn't. This is gonna sound funny, but all the white people that I saw that were posting about it, they're like, it's so funny, and like all the black people were like, man, this shit is washed. I was like, it's because, I mean, and I don't know, it could be wrong, but it's like, maybe a different demographic of people like appreciated the first one as opposed to just being like, it's some piece of culture. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it is a piece of culture, but like some people look at it as like they can just reach and they can grab that piece of it and get a taste of it and be like, oh, I understand this culture because I got a taste. I don't know if that makes sense. Those same people, and also I could just be being a hater because I saw the first one like way before, like a year and a half ago. But like, I don't know. It's like I guess people are just. Maybe I'm just being a prick. I might just be being an elitist prick. Like, oh, well, y'all didn't see it when I saw it. You know, not really.
They just seeing it right before it came out. I mean, I seen it a long time ago. Honestly, it wasn't like one of my favorite movies. Like,
sure, yeah. I like Beverly Hills Cop as far as Eddie Murphy movies go. Like, I thought that was a great movie. But, I mean, Coming to America was cool, but it's whatever.
Yeah. I don't want to fuck up, but I don't really check for Eddie Murphy. Like, I mean, his stuff good, but, like, he ain't like one of the main comedians I go search for. They're doing a movie. Let me go, you know. So. But I'm gonna definitely see it and see what it's talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to watch it just because. I mean, especially because people have been talking about it. So I usually try to be involved in the up and up, if nothing else. You know, like I've kind of to your point earlier, like about you said you don't even really listen to much new music or whatever. It's like unless it's very specific to something you want to hear, and
even the stuff that I listen to that's new, I'll use an example of a Young Thug album. Like the last one he dropped, everybody would listen to it when it came out.
Yeah.
I started listening to it like a year later. I'm like, oh, let me see what this is. Well, and then listen to it.
I always give something a first run through, and then I'm okay. Obviously Drake, like I'm listening to his shit until I like it. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of people that I'll give it one first run, like listen through or whatever, and I'll gravitate maybe to a song or two if it's an artist that I like. and then I probably won't touch it for a while. And then when I come back to it, I'm like, this is actually pretty good. You know, like it's a good project, but I guess I just don't feel as excited about when something drops as I used to. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's really hard to get me to be like, God, I just want to just absorb all of it. Like if Kanye West dropped an old school Kanye West album, which is never going to happen again, but like I'd be like, oh my God, you know, like
we're going to pray for that, but that's not going to happen.
I was really hoping that I was going to get that feeling when Chance the Rapper dropped his first album.
I did. Well, no, I didn't get that kind of feeling from that. I thought it would be too, but you're right. It really wouldn't.
Like
it was different though.
I think media had something to do with it too. Like they were like, "Oh, it's okay," you know. Like
if the meter for like college dropout, if that level was right here, he probably got like right there trying to recreate that feeling. It was a good feeling, but it wasn't that same old Kanye feeling.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Kanye doing I kind of messed with the gospel album a little bit. You know, a lot of people didn't mess with it. I kind of liked it. I liked a few songs off of that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not like he's not talented. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has definitely proven himself. He doesn't have to prove anything to anyone as far as, like, making stuff sound good, making it work. You know, like, he's obviously a genius. But in the same breath, it's like, you know, I really like the other stuff more. Like, but in the same breath, as I've gotten older, I guess I've become a little less like, I want you to stay the same forever about people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that bands really were the thing that got me to where I stopped being so, it's like, well, you can't be hypercritical on someone changing their sound. It's like, because with bands, it's like almost like, well, we want to do this for forever and we can't do it without evolving our sound. So we're going to change and most of you are not going to like it, but it's going to work for us. So we have to do this. Sorry. You know, and I think that kind of happens with artists too, with rappers.
Yeah. People have to change their music. They got to change, you know, their image, everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look at Miley Cyrus. I mean, every album she drops, she changes up her entire image. And I mean, half of that is me shitting on her and half of me is being like, hey, it's genius. It works for her. I mean, she sells stuff, she sells it like her marketing and her image because her music is usually pretty good. Most of the stuff she makes. I mean, she even went through that phase where she was like all in the rap culture and rap scene or whatever.
It was still hard.
Yeah. And it's like, and it was good. It's like, but in the same breath, you also look at it as like, that's still a part of her. Like, cause if you listen to her talk or like have conversations, she's a rowdy broad, you know what I'm saying? Like she has been, you know what I'm saying? She probably, yeah, it's like a little bit, she was a little racy back then as far as, you know, a little risque, if you will, and she still is now, but it's more like, it's more natural for her to be in her fucking, I'm a rocker chick as opposed to being like, it's sitting in a basketball goal with fucking Wiz Khalifa smoking a blunt or something, you know. Yeah. But
I feel like stuff like that is good because you get to see the person, and not just the artist, but the person grow. Yeah. Like she had to go through her, you know, teenage years doing the Hannah Montana situation, and she broke out into 20s doing the whole, you know, I'm smoking weed, I'm drinking, I'm getting fucked up.
Yeah.
I got the chicken butt on stage.
Yes.
And she fuck up and then now she married, you know, writing more like bluegrassy type song, which is dope, like singer-songwriter song.
Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess you just see her progress too as a person.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I get, you know, you've got artists like that and artists like Justin Bieber who like we pretty much have watched them. We've grown up with them really, you know, cause I guess they're kind of close to our age, but if nothing else, we watch them grow up. And it's weird because it's like, I don't really care that much, but in the same breath, it is interesting to see how they've evolved. Those two specifically, but you know, whatever. They are both filthy ass rich too.
They live their fucking life.
Yeah, they have squandered a lot of their life experiences, I'm quite sure. I would be remiss if we didn't spend a little bit of time talking about the stuff that I had written down. One of the things that I was going to ask you, and this is a very, I don't know if you would call this a topical question, but it is something I would be interested in hearing your opinion on. If $1 million landed in your lap right now, and you can take your time to answer it and plan it out, but like if $1 million landed in your lap, how do you think you would spend it? Or just spend most of it? You don't have to spend the entire $1 million. It's just, what do you think some of your first moves would be?
I'm going to just answer it quick since it'd be like me dropping some money in my lap. But take it. I'm not depositing none. Made deposit up to the point where before the taxes, get, seen at the IRS and all that bullshit.
Yeah, you might need to just stick all that shit under the bed.
Yeah. I mean, someone gotta go to the bank because, just gotta go. Not all of it. Not even a big portion. Just a few rackies. Yeah. But the rest of it gonna get invested in something. Cause I found $1 million, but you ain't gonna keep $1 million. So you gotta figure out what you're gonna do with it to, make it keep recurring or whatever. The rest of it will be towards, I probably hand some off to some family or something.
Yeah.
And the rest of it just to blow. Not blow, but blow,
Yeah, no, I got you.
Have fun, go on a trip or something,
Yeah, if I'm getting $1 million, depending on how I actually invest it, I think that I would definitely blow money for a month straight. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm talking about I'm gonna have to get a babysitter for a month straight.
That's gonna be blowing it by itself.
I'm gonna have to see if I'll be able to survive that month. I might have to go ahead and just put the rest 900,000 of it in my son's name. So I'm gonna do some sinning for about a month.
Yeah, do some crazy shit, some life changing shit, man.
Yes, I'm going.
Go ahead and set some of that. Set some of that up to a hospital bill.
Absolutely. I won $1 million and racked up $1.010 million on fucking hospital bills.
I promise I'm doing shit that I would have never thought to do. I go on a little blowing the money spree. It's gonna have to be crazy shit like skydiving or something.
Oh yeah, man. Dude, I got a friend who lives in Macomb or in Pike County where I'm from. And as of the past year of his life, or maybe a little longer, I'm not sure, but he's been documenting it on Instagram. He flies in these propeller things. Okay, it sounds crazy, but okay, it looks like a giant box fan, but he flies this bitch into the sky.
What?
Yo, I'm telling you. Okay, listen, let me explain this a little bit.
I just imagine a flying ass box fan, somebody strapped to that bitch.
Okay. Okay.
Gotta tell me about that.
Let me start over. Okay, you know how they have there's those boats that they have that are in Louisiana or there's a bayou and they got the big ass fans on the back.
Right.
It's more like that kind of a fan. So it's sort of like a big ass box fan, but it's not. Not quite. But and he straps himself onto this little seat thing and he flies these things into the air with parachutes on top of them.
Is this something he made up or is it people doing shit?
That would be fucking nuts. This dude is a god. No, it's a thing. It's a thing that people do. Somebody, not me.
Man.
And it's his thing. It's called paragliding. And he really likes to do it.
Well, let me look paraglide.
Here, I'm about to show you a video.
Yeah.
All right. The people can't see it, but I shout him out on Instagram sometimes, so y'all got to check him out. Hang on. All right, look. Can you see him flying through the air yet?
I'm down there.
Oh, shit. Yeah, dude.
Oh, so it ain't no real big fan from what I can see. It kind of like.
I mean, it kind of. Listen to him. Look at him, bro. That shit is nuts.
What the fuck? How he gonna land with that?
He's gonna die. No, man.
Is he still around here kicking it, doing that?
Look, he's landing.
Now that view look crazy though. From okay, I can see.
Shit, he's wilding.
He didn't land.
His shit just folds up.
Is that him taking off or him landing?
Okay, go ahead.
He was trying to land and then got picked up.
No, I think that I think he was well aware that they were filming. So he was just trying to come real close to the ground, and he ran on the ground and went back up.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That looks fun though. I ain't gonna lie. It looks fun. Like some shit you had to do if you ever get $1 million or like you finna die in a week or some shit.
What he was telling me, they have these carts, and he was like, dude, you need to come up and like film something. We'll do an episode, and you can come up or whatever. And I was like, yeah, dude, next time I'm out there, I'll be sure to hit you up. And he's like, no, I mean, you need to fly with me. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh shit.
And I tried to. My wife doesn't want to let me do it, but I'm trying to talk her into it because it'd be fun. I mean, I know she's not going to do it, but man, that'd be fun as fuck. Think about going on like Facebook Live or IG Live and being like, "Look at this shit."
That would be fun. You had to figure out how to like strap your phone to your wrist or something because if you drop that bitch up there in the air,
well,
it's over with.
I'm thinking to myself, well, if I dropped it and people were watching it, that would be pretty wild. It would be worth it, but
it would be worth it. And then somebody fuck up and catch it on the ground or something.
They're like, fuck you, we're getting all your credit card information. Because your phone's still logged in. I'd be like, damn, see, the first thing you thought when you found a phone fall out of the sky was go steal his shit. You guys are assholes. You didn't even let the screen lock before you went to stealing my shit.
They seen that the screen wasn't locked and they took it.
Oh my god. But yeah, I'm considering doing that. That'd be fun.
I think it would. If anything, after that, you should try to shoot a music video or something.
If I survived the first one, I might as well try to shoot a video the second time. Well, see, that's my fear is that the thing is just gonna, like, one of those cables is gonna snap. Like, what happens if the parachute breaks? Do you just like go straight down into the ground?
With a fan strapped to your fucking back?
You're just flying like super fast. It's like a jetpack. It's just a jetpack when you do the wrong thing.
Oh shit! You know you're not. If I would hope if it break, you land on top of the fan and not like the fan coming down. Dude, on your
it back. Doesn't matter how you land. That shit is going to fucking hurt. That is going to suck.
Oh man. Hopefully the parachute is like tested every time or some kind of way.
I mean, it fucking better be. Can you imagine?
He just winging it. This parachute been sitting here for 16 days untouched. You can't pick that shit up and go fly. Hell no.
That's terrifying. I mean,
that is terrifying.
Undoubtedly, there is a lot of stuff that goes into preparing to take one of those trips through the sky. And, you know, because he hasn't hurt himself doing it, but he also climbs cell phone towers for a living. So he's clearly not afraid of heights.
Nah, that is him. That's his element. Fuck that.
Yeah, because even when we were younger, we actually used to be roommates back in the day. I more or less slept on the couch at him and another one of my good friends' houses because they were roommates, and I just was there for most of the time they lived there. Yeah. But And he used to always just talk about, he'd be like, man, I want to get a squirrel suit. Like, I want to learn how to use one of those flying squirrel suits. And it's like, are you out of your fucking mind? Like, I don't know if you've ever seen those, but it's like the glider suits.
Little things under your arm.
You ain't never watched the video of that shit that made you feel comfortable. It's like you're always like, oh shit, he's going to die.
Yeah, I think the crazy shit, I watched the Family Guy episode, and Peter was doing this shit. His instructor was trying to teach him how to like thread a needle. It was a big mountain that had like a hole in it. You're supposed to go through it. The damn teacher just smacked on the side here. Peter said, well, nah. I think he went on. I think he might have flew through it though, just for dramatic shit. But the shit was crazy. It was like, cause you see videos of it, and you're like, damn, it looks fun. But then you think about it, I'd probably piss myself mid-air trying to come down that bit.
And one wrong move, you're fucked. Your body's gonna just go like a rag doll.
Laughing at you.
And you
flap around.
You just go straight into the ground or into the mountain. It's over. Like there is.
How do you stop? How you stop? Like, how do you land on that?
They have parachutes. But it's like low range ones. So it's like you kind of got to balance out and just hit it and just come down.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you just find flat ground and keep gliding it out until you can.
If you're going as fast as some of those guys do, there's no stopping that. Like you would have to go back up. Once you went up, you would fall straight down.
Fall right on your back.
Oh shit! I forgot my parachute. Maybe I can land in the water. The first 4 layers of his skin is ripped off of his face. He's like a fucking rock skipping across the water.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Yeah, if I had $1 million, I would not do that.
Nah, not the squirrel suit. What he's doing, that's a maybe. But the squirrel suits, hell no.
Yeah, that's not happening for sure. I have always wanted to do something like jumping out of an airplane or bungee jumping, because that shit always, obviously with an instructor or like somebody, like I'm not trying to do it by myself. I don't want to do it enough times to where you can do it by yourself. Because apparently it's like you have to do it like 25 times or something with somebody before they're like, okay, it's time for you to jump on your own. Like it's you have to be invested in it, I guess. But it's kind of fair.
I don't see myself doing it 25 times.
Once. I am doing it once. And I'll probably be 80 by the time I do it.
I hope not.
No, I'm jumping no parachute if I make it to 80. I'm like, this is not where I belong anymore. This is not where I belong anymore.
Oh shit.
An 80-year-old dude, like, I'm just going up for the fun of it. It's been years. And he just hauls ass for the door. They're like, what? Oh, go get him.
He gonna be dead.
Hell yeah.
They would have had to jump out the plane super damn quick and float down there and try to get him. Even then, it might knock him out.
Yeah, no shit. It's like, can you even breathe if you're that old and you're that high in the sky?
That's what I was thinking. That's why I say I hope not. You fuck around and have a heart attack up there before you even hit the ground.
I don't know if maybe that wouldn't be the way to go.
Nah, it'd be quick. I guess.
Dude, you would definitely make it on the news.
80-year-old man just jumps out of the airplane.
Dude, they would throw whoever was up there with you in prison. They'd be like, no, you pushed that old man out.
They'll never guess that old man jump. Just jump by himself.
just hauled ass and dove out the door.
They taking them to jail. Before they take him to jail, they gonna be doing a fucking news interview saying he just jumped. We don't know. He just jumped.
And people like us would be like, those guys are so full of shit. People like me and you would be on the podcast be like, those guys know they're liars.
They just pushed his ass.
They didn't give a fuck about that old man. That would be some guy. I bet those guys are rich as fuck. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I would probably buy a house and make sure that the house had like a really good studio. Even if I didn't know how to run it, I would be able to pay people to come invest their time to either teach me how to run it myself or to run it for me.
Yeah. And make their own money off of it, like,
exactly.
Not paid by you, but shit, you open your little basement area or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And actual.
Obviously, I'd want to utilize a large portion of the money to create some more revenue, some stream of income. So that way it's like, well, not only will I be able to make really good music now that I've invested in this and I don't have to pay to go do that really, get a decent recording somewhere. It's like, or to get it mixed because they can just do most of it. You get what I'm saying, what all entails from having a studio. It's like, and I can also pay to have somebody mix it. I can also pay to have it mastered somewhere really nice. I could also pay to get decent features from artists that are like, if I wanted to invest that kind of time and money into music, but I'd also have a very, very nice podcast studio. You know what I'm saying? It would all be connected, obviously, and I could have that like an opposite part. I could spend some real guala on my home is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And if I've got it paid off, you know what I'm saying?
There ain't nothing you got to worry about for real.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you blow through the entire $1 million.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to worry about shit.
Yeah, all I have to worry about is keeping the fucking lights on in this thing. It's like, but I don't have to pay rent.
Nope.
That would be crazy. Think about going from like paying rent to like not even a year later, you're living in a home, your dream home, and you don't have to pay shit for it. It's paid off.
Yeah.
I don't think my dream home would cost $1 million, but
no.
I'm not saying I wouldn't take $1 million home, but I don't think that I would need to.
Depending on where you want to be at too, because if you are in like California and shit, it's probably easy to hit that damn million billion mark.
Dude, if I can, I'll build that shit here. I'll build that shit right out here in the middle of the country and just keep my ass out here until, cause look at it this way. Let's say you become popping enough to where people will be just trying to pull up on your shit. Well, by that point in time, you probably will have money to either build a fence or move, or have somewhere else to live.
Right.
Aside from your $250,000 mansion that you have paid off already because you won the lottery or you randomly found $1 million in your lap.
It just fell in your lap.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing that always throws me off because you start off with $1 million and then, of course, depending on how high you are or how late in the night it is with your boys, you're like, well, what about $10 million? And then somebody goes, the guy, whoever the guy in the group is in the back goes, so would you suck a dick for $1 million? Then it's just, oh, bro, what the fuck? Probably. And then it just starts, the amount gets less and less. Like, okay, $900,000. Okay, $60.
He could try and make the room right there.
He said, what about $1,400? He said, I got that Moneybag Joe money. Moneybag Blow money. But yeah, that's weird. I don't know why I started thinking about the $1 million, the house. I always thought it was cool when you watch shows or, like Cribs or you watch some kind of show where they're showing like an illustrious home and they have like the game room in the basement, like with like
that's always
table, ping pong, foosball, and then like a couple of arcade games and shit like that. I always thought that was, and a bar or something down there.
Yeah. That's the big kicker for me, having a bar, a functional bar. Like,
if you had all that right there in like your basement, but the way your basement's set up is there's sliding doors and you can walk out into the backyard from the basement.
Yeah.
That would be sick, man.
That would.
That
That
would be
would.
awesome.
It's possible in some places.
Yeah. It's like, if you could imagine like, you know, at this point in life, it's like, who do you invite over? But it's like, if thinking of the heyday when you like the time of your life where you had like the most active friends that you were like around, and it's like everybody comes over like on a Sunday afternoon because ain't nobody got to do nothing. Ain't nobody got to wake up early on Monday or nothing like that. And it's like, oh, you know, we're just doing real throwback shit. And it's just classic because you've got this basement that you bought with your $1 million that landed in your lap.
That'd be a lit time.
Yeah. I mean, it would be dope until the IRS came for, because you had tax evasion on your $1 million that you just, that you told them that you magically got because it fell in your lap.
They would not believe it whatsoever. They had to figure something out.
Yeah. I mean, but I think to myself, and I don't really know how it works, but it's like, okay, what is taxes? Do you have to pay taxes on money that just appears? Because it's like, what if this, like if you gave me $1 million, do I have to pay taxes on that if you just gave it to me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know. I think when you give away money like that, you have to tell them that you gave it away, but I don't know if the person who got it's supposed to. So I would assume they probably do have to tell them. If they told them that they gave it away.
Like, well, think about, excuse me, think about if you, which, I mean, okay, that would, in theory, that should clear you from having to pay taxes on it, right? Like, cause if it's like, it was a gift, if they know that this guy, that you gave me this money and then they ask me where it came from, like, he gave it to me. Check his bank account or check whatever. And it's like, shouldn't they be like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to tax you because we know that it's, you know, it was a gift, $1 million gift, but still. Because I'm thinking to myself now, it's like, so you mean to tell me that if they tax you on that, then me and you could just give this $1 million back and forth over and over and over again. And if we actually paid taxes on it, it would eventually not exist because we transferred it back and forth to each other. Because the IRS had to get theirs.
That's something to think about. We'll never have to pay taxes on it because it was
or it would just dissipate because we would have to keep paying taxes on it if they made us pay taxes on it. Because if we can't, well, I mean, ultimately, if we were having to pay taxes on it, we wouldn't be giving it back and forth to each other, or we would just be like, you know, fuck them. You know, we're not telling them. We're just if we're in the position to just be giving millions of dollars back and forth to each other, we probably could just hide it away somewhere. They're not going to come look for it.
Fuck the bank in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not paying no taxes on my $1 million, you asshats. Especially if it just fell in my lap.
Yeah.
No way. I want to ask you a question. Because, I mean, I guess we can talk about your music. We might as well while we're here. Which we did talk a little bit about earlier in the episode, but you have to excuse me. My throat is parched. You released a video that I watched not too long ago. And it's actually a pretty awesome video. But I want to say most of your videos are pretty cool because they're not like just typical rap videos. Like there's usually like more to it at least, which is the same thing that I've said previously about your music. I like your music because there's more to it than just, and don't get me wrong, there's a time and place, and most of the time and most of the places it's turn up music for me. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. But in the same breath, like we were talking earlier, it's kind of like a dime a dozen, you know, with certain types of music. And to me, your music has always had a little bit more substance, even if it's not specifically talking about like serious. Well, if you're talking about an issue, it's obviously usually a serious one, but even your stuff that's not maybe as conscious, if you will. I don't want to say, I'm not going to say, put you in a box to say you're a conscious rapper, but you get what I'm saying.
I get.
I like your upbeat shit too. So I like your music. And the videos. I digress. I just jumped in a lot of different places, but to get back, you had a video for Live Autonomous. Is that what the name of the song is?
Yeah, that's the name.
Yeah, I was just making sure because it says it on the video or whatever, but I didn't know if that's actually what it was called or if it was like live autonomous or if I was saying it wrong.
It's live.
Okay.
I didn't think about that.
Well, I'm pretty sure you say live autonomous in the song. So
yeah, I do.
So it kind of put 2 and 2 there. I like the song. I like the multiple messages you had in there. And one of the things I was going to ask you, you mentioned generational wealth in that song, and you speak on it for a second or two, or for a couple of bars. And I was in the $1 million question is something that I'm going to actually ask most. I was going to say that question is something I'm actually going to be asking multiple people, like throughout the whatever, just because it's a fun conversation piece. But it also kind of goes into, what you with the generational wealth. You said you were going to try to invest some of that money. Now, mind you, I'm not trying to just figure out your whole financial future or anything like that because I don't know shit about it. But just off the top of your head, like if you were thinking about something that you were like actually passionate about, that you are at least halfway, you're passionate about music, right? Like, right. Obviously, but if you could think of like any other kind of like industry, like that you just think like, I wonder if this is something that I could invest in and care enough to like want to like actually not just put my money and let it grow over time, but put my money in somewhere and actually try to nurture it and learn myself like about something. Does that make sense the way I'm?
Yeah, it does. I feel a couple, I won't say industries, but types of businesses, I think the first one I would try my crack at would be like a non-profit.
Sure.
So trying to help for whatever cause, for whatever place, wherever.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where my money would go in the first beginning, but a non-profit to kind of, build fundraisers. Non-profit is you don't get profit, so you're not making money off of it.
Right.
So you put initial investment and you can then come up with fundraisers and come up with all different other type of stuff to help. Another call. And then I probably, I always got this dream of opening something in the SIP or in my hometown or something like that, of actual, tangible business.
Right.
I've been in the food industry before. I probably, open a small bar or something, or something that even help the community even more, like a school, daycare, after school program type of rec center or something like that.
Right. See, that's something that is interesting because like if you think about something like that, it's like it could not only, you could still get some like money out of it as far as like you having revenue, but it also would be something that would be an actual addition to the community. Of course, the same thing with a good restaurant or a good, bar with like food or whatever. It's like, but when you think about it, something of the caliber of like a day, like you were saying, a daycare even, obviously, I'm sure you're not just trying to like watch after kids all day, but in the same breath, it's like opening a daycare. It not only provides jobs for a handful of people, if nothing else, but it also is, the goal would be for it to be like, hey, we're going to run this as a business and also as a nurturing place for children because, a lot of neighborhoods and communities don't have that. It's like, unfortunately, you can't open like 1,000 of them, and put them in the places where they're most needed,
If you can start somewhere.
Right. No, absolutely. And good shit influences other people to do good shit and strive to do good shit. And honestly, it works the same way. People being assholes just makes other people want to be assholes back, and that goes into plenty of different things. I guess some people would use the terms like good energy begets good energy, I'm not usually the guy to just be like energy or anything like that, but I get that mindset. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. If we were using that as a metaphor, then that would fit perfectly. And to me, like my hometown is like in a bad spot as of lately. You know what I'm saying? Like crime's getting worse. Like a lot of the public figures, like people are just not having like a lot of respect for the public figures there. I don't want to say like all of them, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's not a good, like, people don't give a shit, you know, and obviously there's other things that we live in Mississippi, you know, 2020 happened, you know what I'm saying? Like, tensions are high. I'm not saying that they're about to go to civil war in my hometown or nothing, but it's like that shit's there. It's like, and it's like it's like, how do you find a way to like make things like I would want to find this is a little bit off topic, but not really. I've been wanting to do a show in Macomb, and I wanted to, you know, whenever we do, in the past when we've done shows, we don't take the money. We just let them keep it, because it's not like we're doing it all the time. And I think this is something that I had talked about before, and it's like, now I want to go back to Macomb and do a show for, like, I don't want to do it for like the animal shelter or anything. Like, I want to do it but I do want to do it as a fundraiser for something. That way we can not only do the show, but maybe like have it set up to where it's like somebody does like an auction or something earlier in the day, like at the same place where we do the show. And so that way it's not just the rowdy young people paying for a ticket to go to a show, you know what I'm saying? And then like 10% of the beer sold or something, you know, like, but it's also like a thing that the community can be a part of too, like, or a percentage. You're not going to get everybody in the town like Macomb to be a part of something and support something, but in the same breath, it'd be cool to have that, and it would be a good look, but it would also make other people you would hope that it would encourage other people to want to do something like that. Like, it's like, used to, it would be, in my head, I would think, we'll go do a show and we're going to look cool and badass. Which, I mean, you're still hoping you look cool and badass either way. But I'm just saying, like, it's like, but we also, like, you never know, you might plant the seed in that guy to want to make music. And it's like, now I'm thinking, I'm trying to. I mean, this is all new in my head, too, over just the past, like, couple of years. It's like, now it's like, I want to inspire people to do something bigger than that. Like, I want you, sure, learn how to do music or whatever, but more importantly, hopefully you can want to be inspired to have, you know, be whoever you want to be, but let your character speak more for, you know, you than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess it's like, keep your name out of the dirt, you know what I'm saying? But not really, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're standing for something that you wholeheartedly love and believe or whatever, if you find yourself and people shit on you, then it's like, hey, you know, just take pride in what you do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not necessarily speaking about that as much. It's just more like, hey, you know, I want to do something and raise money, like how you were saying. Like you were saying you would take, and I wasn't even thinking that big of a level, but you were saying if you would take that and try to create something that would be able to perpetuate its own money filtration system for itself. Right. To, like, if you started a nonprofit, the goal for that would be to, you know, get your investors, get your monthly investors or get your big dollar investors. And it's like, this is going to be able to keep itself going. And it's like, right. I don't mind taking a chunk of what I have to create that, is what you were saying, more or less.
Yeah. Like, it's not going to necessarily make you money, but, you know, that can be your one contribution that gives you 1 million contributions. You know what I'm saying?
And, you know, stuff like that. And it is good, but that kind of stuff also opens doors to all kinds of other stuff too. You know, like, I mean, there's some people that are just, they're almost like, they're the type of people who are, and I'm not saying that you'd want to do this, but it's like a philanthropist by profession. It's right. Almost like their job is as philanthropy. Like, people give them money pretty much to, like, hey, this is the money that I want you to donate to the right places and put it in my name, or, you know, we'll put it in together, but it's all my money, but you get a cut. You know, like, it sounds crazy, but that's a real thing. But then just also people who they move money for people, and I'm a philanthropist, but I also deal with money. You know, I'm also an accountant, but it's like, there's no telling, like, that accountant entails. It's like, there's no accountant that just has millions of dollars. Like, you're doing more than just counting people's money for them, you know? Like, and I'm not necessarily saying that you're doing something illegal necessarily, but like, there's obviously more to your job if you're donating a bunch of money, or unless it fell in your lap. Obviously, that is always an option.
Yeah. It fell in your lap.
Right. That's what the accountant said. Yo, I just freaked out. I'm sorry. My wife was walking in the kitchen, but I thought somebody was outside.
Yeah, you heard the police earlier.
Yeah, man. I was like, damn, dude. Oh, shit. Yeah, man, that totally threw me off. It freaked me out. I forgot that, like, my wife was awake in there. Because the way my headphones are, like, of course I can hear myself and I can also hear you. But, like, it's pretty much really quiet in my living room. I've got a TV on it, like, directly in front of me, but the volume's down. So I just heard, and I was like, oh, shit. Like, outside the house. It's them. They're invading. I'm not ready. I don't have any of my shit. I'm hanging out.
We didn't learn our next language.
Oh my God, you're so right. We didn't. But I got so off topic, man. But you know, we did get to talking about the, you know, the ecosystem of being able to, you know, I was bringing up the general wealth comment that you are bars that you had in your song. And you said that kind of about how you wanted to start up a business, an actual tangible business in your hometown, in addition to, you know, maybe trying to play your part in starting up some type of nonprofit organization or something of that caliber. And it's like, I always think to myself, kind of in a lighter version or lighter piece of that conversation, I always think to myself, it's like, damn, what kind of business would I start? Like, that would both be beneficial, like, or it doesn't necessarily, whatever, something that would be a good commodity for my town that I'm setting it up in, but then also be something that can collect some kind of revenue. Like, I always think, like, what do people need and or want? Like, what's good enough of a luxury, I guess you can say, for the most amount of people. Yeah. And I can't ever I'm always like just trying to think of something like that, which, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm far from like starting a business like that. If I was going to start a business like today without $1 million falling in my lap, it would either be me having to learn a skill on YouTube and figuring out how to do it. That's just really simple to learn, but nobody wants to take the time to learn how to do it. Or I would have to like become really crafty.
Yeah. I mean, the only business like that comes to mind off the rip for me would be like the stuff that, you know, we like to do, be like creative stuff. Like it could be an art studio, music studio, photo and video studio. Because I mean, it's like not everybody does that, but you think about it nowadays, damn near everybody does that. Yeah. It's beneficial because they're getting their creative juices out, you know, getting their, you know, stuff out on their avenues on the same tip. They paying us for, you know, rental space or using our services. Yeah. And, you know, at the same time, you don't have to bottle up so much stuff because you're in there. You know,
that's true. I mean, and also it's like if you found a way to make it like affordable, you know, because it's like a lot of times when you find places like that, you know, that doubles as like a, you know, all but an actual music venue, which, I mean, the way you're explaining what you're explaining, it's a music venue as well. You know, like that, you could, on Saturday nights, you move everything to the back and put a curtain over it and the rest of it is a music venue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's a possibility.
Yeah. It's like the thing about it is you would have to have the kind of space, you know, like ideally it would be great to get like, you say you get like grant money to make something like that, like downtown or something. It's like you get that and you do it to build it, but it would almost have to be like a half, like you just picture in your head like a warehouse, but then like just half of it. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be like a 1/4 mile long warehouse, but like if you had it and you just like walled it off or like drop big curtains. So it's like throughout the week, people are able to use different, like a portion of it is like straight studio, like, and you know, then there's a portion of it that, you know, is more like film and open area. Like people could go in there and film themselves, like, you know, juggling fire or something. Yeah. Big ass, badass lights and stuff around. I'm just spitballing really, but it's like it really could be like the ultimate complex for it. But then you also have to sit there and think it's like in a town like here, it's like how lucrative is something like that? Like you feel like it would be. It's like, but in the same breath, it's like how many people really have the money to just spend on all the different things that they would really want to do.
They got so many other things to think about to do with their money and thinking about nothing like that.
Yeah. And, well, when it all boils down to it, you would find yourself probably making your most money from having the little studio that you have over there where you're, having to run through like artists coming through rapping every day for $40 an hour. And it's like, that's how you end up just making all your money. And it's like, damn.
It works. That works now in my hometown. It works now. That's what's doing it. People, I don't even remember it being a studio there. I don't want to say that there people in there, but yeah, it's all home studios.
Hell yeah. And it's like, you charge people to come through, or you and your people will record. And it's like, think about it. It's like, it makes sense why back in the day, though, like it used to cost like $300 an hour to go record in the studio.
Right.
Like, and this predates me, like the first time I ever paid to go record in the studio, like making rap music, was when I recorded that Manny Anderson and Say My Name, like those two first songs that I put out by myself after like me and Josh kind of stopped making music.
Yeah,
and that's the first time I ever paid to go record music. The rest of the times I've been making music with my friends, since I was a kid. Like now, when I played in rock bands or was playing in metal bands and punk bands and shit, like we paid to go record our music because you couldn't just. It was a lot less common that you were going to be able to record live instruments just in your house like that. Like
you had to bring all of them in.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's
actual mics for each instrument.
Yeah. Like there towards the end, we were getting to where you could do programmed drums and then you could record the guitar stuff directly into, which you can, that's pretty commonplace now. But back then that was almost like some new shit to us. This is like 12 years ago. So, and we recorded a lot of music like that, but it was always, we knew it was like MySpace quality, demo quality music, and that was all fine and dandy when you were just like doing local band shit. But it's like, there was a couple of the bands that I was in where it was like, we went and actually recorded with people. And one of the rock bands I was in, we went and recorded with a guy who like co-produced like some of POD's music. Yeah, it was pretty cool. That was like the nicest studio I've ever been in. Like, we got the hookup. Two guys in the band, their family had a little bit of money and they kind of helped us out with making that happen. So, but that was the band that I got to travel and see most of the country with too. So that was pretty tight. As a teenager, that was tight.
That's a really experience to have.
Yeah, I peaked out at 17, but it was pretty cool. I had a lot of fun as a 17-year-old. But,
I don't think I had never been to a big studio, like a good actual studio.
Yeah.
I've been home studio. But no, I have been to one. It was a dude, near Hattiesburg. He turned like not a shed, but one of the stores.
Was it in Bassfield?
I want to say it was. It was around that area.
Like it was kind of a little ways out of Hattiesburg, but it was. Yeah. It was like ducked off, like it was just out in this neighborhood, out in the woods, like
kinda. Yeah, pretty much. I remember it being like a lot of trees and shit out to the right.
I want to say I went out there one time. I ain't trying to put their shit on blast or nothing, but they had like they clearly had somebody who invested a shitload of money into that room. Yeah. It's like, and it wasn't the guys running it probably.
It looked nice as hell on the inside.
Yeah, they had like a little kitchenette shit in there. Like when you walk in the door, did they have like you could sit on a couch and watch TV?
Oh yeah, we could watch TV. I didn't see like a kitchen or nothing though. We would watch somebody was playing the game and shit, and we would sit on the couch.
I don't know. It might be the same place. It might not, but either way, the place I'm talking about was nice. When J-Rad was fucking with some people out there like for a while, like he was engineering for him, and
it might be the same people.
Possible. But one of the artists that they had that was like their bread and butter at the time was a guy named Collie. This guy's name, it was spelled like Kolley, and he had beats produced by Propane produced a bunch of shit for Future. He had like pictures with Future and shit. So it's like these people were plugged in, but I don't know, he had like a really high quality music video, but I don't know that anything ever came from it. Like I think that somebody was just investing money in him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it was one of those kind of scenarios. This guy owned a trucking company or something.
That's what it was. Yeah, bread.
Yeah, I mean, they had seemed to have something pretty cool going on down there, but I guess nothing ever really came of it. And I assume that all that, I don't think any of that's private information. I didn't really say anything. I don't know the address, so.
I don't even remember where the fuck I was, for real. I just remember it being like ducked off somewhere.
Yeah. I would say all those people that I met down there were really nice people, and it was a really nice establishment. I enjoyed myself the time I went down there. The one time I went down there.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I got drunk and fell asleep on the couch that was there, though. Not gonna lie. For like half the day.
Yeah. That's how studios go. Everybody who sit on the couch, it's over with. You finna lay out.
Yeah, especially if somebody's like trying to perfect something. If whoever the engineer is or the guy producing, making a beat, it's like you're definitely going to sleep. Like
sometimes even the rapper or the singer or something, like if it takes a lot of takes to get that shit out, like, you might as well go to sleep.
Man, we went to New Orleans one time. Me and J-Rad and I don't know. Did you ever meet Bop Bop?
Yeah.
Okay. Bop Bop, me and J-Rad went down to New Orleans, and I was getting drunk before we left to even go down there. But we were going down there and talk to some people that they had something to do with like a label or something like that. But they were like, I mean, it wasn't like a big label. I mean, they might be big in the city. I don't know, but I knew it wasn't like a really. It was some guy trying to get off the ground. He was going to like invest his time into us and shit, but they had these apartments that were like, basically you rent them out. They're like studio apartments, but they're not that big, but it was basically like you're renting out a practice room almost, like, cause right next door to where they had their studio set up, and that was like their little spot was in this apartment complex that was like a rented out room more or less, but it was a big open room. Anyway, next door to them, there was a band in there practicing. Like, I guess they were like a cover band, and I was so thrown off. I went and sat in their room and watched them practice, and they were like, dude, they were like popping pills and everything. J-Rad, and they were like, where the fuck did Shane go? Cause they had shut the door. I was in there having a hell of a good time, dude. And I was thrown. You
thought that was part of them.
I was like, man, this is fucking great. And then like they go back over there and like, hey, dude, they're wanting to record something. I'm like, oh shit. So eventually, and I'm trashed at this point. So it's like, shit, I can't believe, and it's like probably 10:30 at night by the time we actually get to there. And then all that happened, and then they're like, dude, they kind of want to work on a song, and I'm like, I don't have anything written, like, and I'm definitely not in the state of mind to just come up with something. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they want to be here for a few hours. It's like, also, I'm throwed. But yeah. I ended up making quite the fool of myself that night. But we all got pretty trashed, I got pretty trashed, and we ended up being able to laugh about it later on. So, and I don't think any of us were really that worried about trying to sign no paperwork with them anyway. It was just a good experience.
See what's going on. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Any trip to the city back then was also totally, I was down. I was like, let's go.
Especially if it has something to do with music.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like you've been to Bourbon Street before and like turn up down there.
Yeah.
It's like, you do that a handful of times. It's like by the time you get older, it's like I almost just want to go and do something different down there, which I wouldn't necessarily say that I'd want to go get trashed and stumble across a cover band's practice space, but in the same breath, I did have a good time. So
it takes every time you step into New Orleans, if you're not from New Orleans, every time you step into New Orleans, it's like, what you want to go do. You want to go down to Bourbon.
Yeah.
And get fucked up real fast. But it's so much more shit to go see and, have like a grown up good time on some shit.
Yeah, no shit. I definitely agree. Well, I'm going to ask you, one more question before we, end up getting out of here, G. I forgot. Do you want me to call you G or do you want me to call you Nerro? Or do you want me to call you G-Nerro?
Either one. Whichever one comes to your mind while you talk.
The way, and that's what you said to me, I'm pretty sure last time I asked you that. But I feel like the easiest way for me to say is G-Nerro. Yeah. But I don't want it to sound like I'm saying generic because you're not generic at all. You're the original. The Origin-Nerro. That was so lame, but I just came up with that.
Play on words, wordplay.
Okay, so I would usually probably ask this of all time, but I'm not going to get you in that position right now because then we'll end up going for another hour. But right now in your, in your space of how you are living your day to day, and I'm not sure how heavy you even listen to music. I'm assuming you listen to it a good bit. I know a lot of these people these days listen to podcasts and interviews and stuff like this. We're kind of I'm personally really heavy on retaining information to a fault at times. So it's like I kind of miss out on some music, kind of how we were talking earlier about how you only get so excited for new music. But who are you listening to right now, whether it be music or podcast or anything like that, or all music or all whatever? Like, who are a couple of people that you are being inspired by right now? Inspired is even a strong word. I just know who is interesting to you right now, like entertaining to you.
Music wise, I really just go on Spotify. The reason I love Spotify is because they give you what you love, and then they also toss you some new artists that you might fuck with.
Yeah.
And so I just really go to my playlist on that. That just consists of like Boss. That consists of like there's some Young Thug in there.
Yeah.
That's Young Thug. Which is, if you would have asked me this like 10 years ago, you probably would have never hear me mention Young Thug name in this.
He's got quite the versatile catalog now, though, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, versus back then, he's got a lot of different styles of music, too. Like, right. It's not like he's not just a one and done kind of guy.
Exactly. Him, I mess with, JID.
Yeah.
Mess with,
I thought, did you say Boz at first?
Yeah.
BAS? Yeah, that's crazy because it's just wild that he was like the first person you named. Because that's very rarely would you hear that as being the first person somebody named.
I really mess with Boz. I've been messing with Boz when he put out Last Winter. That was a while ago.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my favorite project. But I really didn't mess with it super heavy. But he came out with Too High to Riot. That's still one of my favorite albums of all. Like, when people ask you if you were to get stranded on the island, what 3 albums you have, that's one of them that's going with me on a definite. Yeah, Boss is dope. I like slower stuff too, so I'm with not even slower, but real musical. So I really listen to John Bellion. I even got one of his finals over here.
Oh wow.
John Bellion's pretty dope. He self-produced most of his own shit.
Oh,
he
that's
was
always tight.
Yeah, and like crazy and producing. I put him up there with like Kanye West when it comes to self-producing. And while I'm talking about self-producing, I obviously fuck with Big Crit too.
Yeah.
Most of this stuff self-produced.
Yeah, like, something about whenever you know that an artist like has produced their own, like they almost like they whipped up that whole thing, like it's like them and maybe 2 or 3 other people like in like a shed somewhere by themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then they sent it to the label or whoever and said this is going to be it. Like if they're in the shoes like that, it's like, to me, that's always, it makes you listen to it differently. Like when they were telling me that Russ like wrote, recorded, produced, engineered, mixed, mastered all of his own shit. And I'm not even like a super big Russ fan. Like I'm not like, I didn't hate him when everybody hated him, but I also didn't start loving him when everybody loved him either. He's got good music. But when I listened to it, actually was watching his interviews and hearing him talk some more, I got to where like I would listen to his songs. I'm just like, damn, this dude really, that's a talent in itself. I mean, I've always been very open with the fact it's like, hey man, I can bring I can bring the product there, but I'm not going to be able to package it. And, like, it's like, I can only, there's only so much I can bring to the table when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? I can try my best to make people think we're cool too online. You know what I'm saying? But like, other than that, I'm being facetious, but I'm just saying like, I think that shows a lot of talent to be able to make that kind of music and then be able to make yourself sound good afterwards, post-production,
Russ does his thing.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard a bad Russ song ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate him. I'm just saying, like, I didn't get super into him at first because it's just, he had a couple of good songs that I liked. I really like that single he's got with, Rick Ross that it's been out for a little over a year. Guess what? I just wanted something after that. I don't know.
I ain't heard that one. I ain't heard that one.
It's clean. The instrumental, the sample in the instrumental is just, it's phenomenal. But they obviously knew that. That's why it was the lead single on his album when it came out. So, and it's got Rick Ross on it. So
yeah,
he's kind of he's like a legend at this point. So
yeah, and he always go hard. Like he go hard on his own hooks, but if he on a feature, you know he finna smash on.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And, you know, and that, to me, that used to be what it was like with, with Wayne.
Yeah.
It's like Wayne used to be, which now it's, to me, I just kind of put it with Lil Wayne. It's like you have, 9 out of 10 songs will be mediocre at best, but that 10th song is like, God, that fucking verse was amazing. It's like, he's still, you'd be like, he still got it. He still got it.
And you gotta give him credit.
Then you'll go 9 songs where you're like, what the fuck is he doing? It's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're way better than, and then it's like that 10th song comes and you're like, oh my fucking God, I'm so sorry. I doubted you, Wayne.
That's how I felt about, it took me a while to get back on to listen to Wayne, but I did finally, like a year later after he dropped it, went and listened to Carter 5.
Yeah, that's the same thing with me.
Yeah, I didn't really, it was some songs on there that I like the one with him and Kendrick. I like.
Sure. Yeah. It was sitting on that one for a while, apparently, too.
Oh man,
that had been recorded for a good while, which is understandable. It's like you better throw that bitch because a lot of people liked that one. Mona Lisa, I think, is what it's called.
Yeah. But then he put out an album called Funeral. I bumped Funeral for some reason. Like I definitely messed with that one. It had a lot of good songs. He was back to rapping. And he has some little,
his little shit, his little emo shit
and stuff on there too. But he made it go hard some kind of way. And he had like some good songwriting too on a few songs.
Yeah.
So it kind of brought me back with Wayne. But
yeah, it's like, I kind of feel like it sucks that it's like, it's not instantaneous anymore with him. Like used to, you hear something, you'd be like, oh, I'm bumping this for the next 3 weeks. And it's like one song. It's like, but it's like now it's like his music has to grow on me more now than it used to. Which I mean, I'm not mad at him about it. Fuck it, dude. You have done more than enough. Everything afterwards is just, hey, if you're enjoying yourself, then I don't care. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, just thank you for giving it to us. That's the way, like, at least we get to hear it.
And gave us other artists too. Gave us like Drake and Nicki Minaj.
Right. Yeah. And which in turn gave us a fuckload of other people, like, cause I mean, Drake and Nicki Minaj are like the grandparents almost. They're the parents to the whole industry damn near. I mean, neither one of them are probably in this. I mean, it's hard to say that Drake's not. I mean, Drake really is been on top of the world for 10 years.
Yeah. He probably still, if not on top, he like right on the crest of the damn top. He's still right there.
The only reason that he wouldn't be on the top is because he's turning his shoulder to the, to the light. Like, oh, I'm a scorned man because I'm rich and I've been drinking wine for too long in my dungeon, in my castle, in my fucking $9 million compound.
I wonder how much he charged for verses nowadays.
I bet he doesn't charge. I bet he does. This is probably not true, but I was gonna say I bet he just exclusively does like verses for equity or for his homies or like people that he's like. Because Eminem apparently doesn't charge for verses anymore. I mean, obviously they're two completely different artists, but like Eminem's like, I'm only gonna do a verse for you if I fuck with you.
Yeah, I feel that's how Drake do. Because like you said, like Drake. I've noticed over time, Drake will go after, I ain't gonna say go after, like he's just a predator on these, but the newer artists that's, popping or about to pop, or they got like a street anthem or something, he'll hop on that wave, which is smart.
They call it's the Drake stimulus package. That's what they've been calling it for a while.
I've seen somebody call it that, and then he'll hop on that, but I've seen like people like Kanye do it. At the same time, he'll go find somebody who popping, like he kind of did with Travis Scott back in the day.
Yeah.
hop on the wave with Travis, or Drake did like Block Boy JB, hop on that wave for a second and make what they do, bounce.
Yeah, and you know it's crazy to think though, because it's like there's like been the conversation is like, is that a blessing or a curse? It's like a Fetty Wap, his lack of growth is on him. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with his Drake getting on his song. His biggest song didn't have nothing to do with Drake. You know what I'm saying? But that, I mean, obviously that helped to his run. That Drake remixed his song and released it. You know what I'm saying? Like that was huge for Fetty Wap, but Trap Queen wasn't the one that Drake was on, you know. But
that wasn't what he's doing.
But then,
like you said, it's on him.
Yeah, exactly. If you read or have heard anything about him in the past 6 years, you understand he's been living wild, you know. But he's the one who didn't follow up immediately, or his label, whatever. But it didn't have anything to do with the fact that Drake blew him, gassed him all the way up, and then it was. I love McConan. I don't know what his gig was, but like after, I mean, he had a couple of songs that came out, but after Tuesday, ain't nobody was checking for his ass at all. Nobody was checking for him before. Like, nobody really cared about him before I mean, obviously people did. He obviously had fans somewhere.
Yeah, he had to have a few fans to,
but in comparison, I mean, nobody got the Versace stimulus package. Like, when Drake did the Versace verse, the Migos, it's like, and they were popping.
I was going to say, they probably because they already had, like, they wave going up.
They were street famous for sure. Like, people listened to them like how like 4 or 5 years ago, you'd be walking down the road and you just hear NBA Youngboy.
Yeah.
They bump him in the South like so. I mean, I compare Migos when they were like the same way. Really, it was with Rich Homie Quan too, but he kind of fell off. But it was like the Lil Wayne era, the Kevin Gates, Lil Boosie, all those NBA Youngboy, the way that they treat artists from Louisiana, that's kind of how Atlanta and them were treating Migos for sure. Because Migos, like, you just heard like their music in the hood all the time. Like, and it's like songs you never heard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and from my point of view, this is before I was like a fan of the Migos or whatever, before they were really fucking with, or they did that song with Drake that blew up. Or even right after that, it was like, they had the No Label mixtape, and then they had the second one too. And those mixtapes and shit were, I mean, there was like 2 or 3 other ones that were just super popping.
It was fire.
Yeah. And
without Drake, like Drake didn't have to blow them up, but the fact that he like popcorn them into.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They didn't miss a beat, in other words. Once they got where they were going, they didn't decline any and then have to work their way back to that single. Like, no, they can't. They followed up with some good shit and followed up with some good shit and followed up with some good shit. And it's just crazy that they ended up being the ones to do that. Cause I mean, I don't know, like if you had to think about the 3 of them are definitely, I definitely would say that they are bigger than Young Thug. But Young Thug is all of them in one person.
That's true. When you think about it, he really is.
Yeah, and
an extra person.
Yeah,
and an extra person, like crazy. Yeah. But Thug, when you said Rich Homie had he could have had a damn. I don't know. He could have had what Young Thug got.
Could have had it all, bro.
I feel like he didn't because of Thug, though, because Thug kind of came in, grabbed what he had and kept going too, like, as far as fans and stuff go.
That's true. I mean, I don't know if it was by design or what, but I'll tell you what, I definitely knew who Rich Homie Quan was before I knew who Young Thug was.
I heard about Young Thug from Rich Homie Quan.
Yeah.
Like, one of his mixtapes, Young Thug was on there.
You get the fuck out of my face. That was the first song.
Yeah, that was the first Thug song I ever heard. I'm like, who in the fuck is this?
Hell yeah, I think everybody. Get the fuck out of my face or else we fight.
At first I was like, man, turn this shit off. Then you go back and listen to it, like, shit, this shit kind of jamming.
Yeah, it's funny, and that created. I mean, that was I mean, obviously something created that, but it's like that sound is everything now. I mean, it of course evolved, obviously, but I'm just saying, like, that is at the core of everything that we hear most of the time now.
On on each genre of music too, which is crazy.
Right.
You hear the shit in pop, you hear it in everything.
Hell yeah.
Pop is everybody.
I think it's crazy whenever I'll be listening to the top 40 station and some Post Malone or come on or something, and he's got a Young Thug is playing on top 40. Like, to me, that's wild. Cause Post Malone and him have a song together that say, I want you out of my bedroom tonight. I don't think I can save you. It's some, really poppy top 40 shit, but it's got Young Thug on there and they got a music video for it and everything. This just came out a little on Post Malone's last album, but that shit was hard. I mean, it was a dope ass verse. I mean, he's just, of course, crooning, just, I love you, just doing the real deal Young Thug shit. And you got to go listen to it. It's a good song for what it's worth.
I'm going to have to go look at it.
Hell yeah. Well, hey man, I guess we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Is, anything you, want to say or whatever before you get off here? Tell people where they can find you.
Find me on the gram, on Twitter, all that at Chi_NERRO. Yeah, got music coming out. Got 2 more singles coming out before I put an album out. Album coming out like September, fall 2021.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, brand new shit.
That's awesome. Well, for the people who follow me, obviously I will be, who keep up with me through social media, they'll be able to find you anytime I post something about this podcast. Also, I also share your stuff periodically anyway. So hopefully, those of the consumers that have not already followed you will be following you and keeping up with your story here through, obviously People Below, as I said before. So if it's only 3 or 4 people, those people are awesome. If 566,000 people, then those people are awesome too. Maybe they'll all be from Russia and they'll speak both Russian languages.
We might tell them to do some shit before they even know to do it.
Hey,
we just press the button on something.
Yeah, we might be changing the game. I was telling my coworker the other day, I was like, hey, we got to stop bullshitting, man. We need to just go ahead and plan to save up enough money and move to fucking Africa. I was like, Africa is really on the up and up these days. By the time we're old people, Africa is going to be like the new America.
Yeah. And it can be like 2 or 3 Americas. Like, it's so damn, like so many countries and shit out there.
Exactly. And it's like they're getting into like a new age out there, like of like industrialism. And it's like, they're like, hey, we want to build shopping malls as well. It's like, oh, it's a new capital farm. So as we deteriorate and all of our lifeblood goes down, they're going to, be a much healthier version of us, like a more youthful version of us with hopefully a little less, problems. You
can see it in the comparison of the education system. Like, when our education system back in the gap, people from other countries wanted to come over here just to get in our educational system. Yeah. Now we stayed on that little stagnant ass line for the same probably 50 years. Everybody else in other countries just kind of, going up. So their education again.
There is a lot more than $1 million falling into the lap of Africa right now. Like there's people investing big money, especially China. Which, of course, if you want to get into your conversation of warfare and political warfare, it's a whole different conversation. But let's just say that we just ignore that part of it and just think about it. Hey, they're investing money down there because if you think about it, people just ignored the fuck out of Africa for forever. Not really, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't we go stop the crazy shit that's going on there instead of the Middle East? Well, because they don't have a bunch of oil, but they probably have like a bunch of lithiums or something. So China's like, hey, you know what? Let's work something out. We're investing in here, but they're all about like, kind of how it's called imperialism, but it sounds so much darker, I guess, than it actually is, which it might actually in the end be. They might just turn us all into like robots that produce blood or something, but not China exclusively, but just somebody. I digress, but I don't know why I was saying we needed to move to Africa, but I don't think that by the time I'm in my mid-30s that it would be that bad of an idea. We'll have to see a little bit longer how things go. And, by then Africa might be like, fuck this, we're burning it all down too. And you might,
too many of y'all coming over here.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, they're like, no borders, no wall, no Africa at all. It's like the same shit they're saying about like no borders, no walls, no USA at all. I don't know what the fuck. One of those chants that they say. It doesn't matter. Either way, I digress. Thank you for being on the show, man. And I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah. That's good one, bro.
And, dude, anytime, whenever you, in September or a little bit before then, if you want to come back on, which obviously we can talk about this off air, but feel free to, shoot me a text or message me or something. We'll keep in touch. I'm really bad about keeping in touch, but in the same breath, you know, I'm around, and if you ever need any help, man, just holler at me. If there's anything I can help with, just holler at me.
Will do.
Cool.
I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. And, right on, bro. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. Much love, bro.
Yeah. Hello, sign me up.
Brand new seats, brand new whip, brand new vibe and some brand new tricks. Brand new heart, got a brand new trick. Brand new life on some brand new shit. Brand new shit, I'm on some brand new shit. Brand new shit, I'm on some brand new shit. Brand new shit, I'm on some brand new shit. Brand new shit, I'm on some brand new shit. Gotta have patience and persistence. Dog, I hustled over time for the glitz and all. They hate to see a nigga that admits his flaws, but now I'm about to do shit that's gon' piss them off. I just got my fucking wings, now I'm on the way up. I'm coming for everything, now they gotta pay up. Went around the fucking screen, now I'm on the layup. At times I had to scrape up, but a nigga never gave up. Feel like everything in this life new. If I ain't did it, I'ma try to. Learn happiness is inside you. Bullshit I say goodbye to. The snakes right in your eyes too. The same ones that'll bite you, that you ain't gotta reply to. Not everyone will like you. Best of critics, pessimistic, set of limits, sour lemons. I'ma finish, start beginnings. I ain't gotta be alone. You can be my moon beside. Mama see the ride with me if even I ain't have a ride. Push the start on unbelievers. Brand new seats, brand new whip, brand new vibe and some brand